Rosie, I'm going to make a Peruvian pork stew with potatoes, and I've got some lovely peppers. What I'm going to use are some indigenous Peruvian ingredients. I've got papa seca here, which is actually potato.
I did wonder what that was.
Yeah, it's a potato that's been dried out, and it's quite clever. How do you preserve potatoes? You dry them out like this, you take them to where you've got to go, rehydrate them, and then you can cook with them. Now, what you've got to do with them to get some flavour into them, and I'll get you to taste this, I toast them off in a pan for about 15 to 20 minutes, nice and slowly, and they become nice and toasted.
Are you lying? Are you sure I can taste this? Because it doesn't look
Have a little taste of it. Have a little taste of that. It's potato, doesn't it? You think it might be bacon or something. There we go.
I thought it was bacon.
It's not bacon at all. It's actually potato that's dried.
Better not be.
Now, what you do, once you've toasted it, is you pop it into a bowl like this of water, leave it there for about half an hour, and it rehydrates itself and it becomes quite soft. Now, what I'm going to get you to do is take this out of the liquid in a couple of minutes and pop the papa seca into the bowl there.
Because, of course, they love potato, don't they?
It's the deadly nightshade family. It comes with tomatoes, peppers, chilies, potatoes, eggplant. They all come from that area. Yep. I've also got two ingredients here, orange bianca and orange mirisol. I think I've got the pronunciation just quite right. Basically, they're hot peppers, red and yellow, that we use and we get lovely flavour. Feel free to have a little taste of them.
Good for our metabolism there as well.
Little bite to them. And they've got lovely flavour. Do you like that? There we go.
Oh, that is delicious.
It's really nice. Now, while we're getting this ready, I'm going to get you to chop that garlic up, chop that onion up, and we'll get ready to cook our pork stew. Now, I've got some pork neck here, which is perfect for this kind of dish. It's got lots of interconnective muscles. It is really good when you slow cook it. Lots of fat in there to help keep its moisture. About an hour and a half or so, and it becomes nice and tender. What I've done is put a bit of salt on there, and in my pan here, which is really nice and hot, I'm going to put some of the pork in there. I know this pan's really hot because I've got the little dot in the centre there telling me that it's red hot. You can hear that sizzling already without putting any oil into it.
Isn't it? You go to sleep listening to that.
Oh, this is the sound of pork making love. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do is pour some extra virgin olive oil on top there, and you're really going to start to hear this sizzle now. All that heat is transferring from the pan and into the pork. I'm also going to squirt a little bit more salt on there because salt loves meat, meat loves salt. Salt loves meat, and meat loves salt. In it goes, and a little bit of pepper goes on there. We want to make sure we get plenty of flavour into the meat. Now, I'm just going to give that a bit of a toss around. Oh, a bit of flame there as well. We don't want that. A bit of a toss around like that. And what I'm looking for, Rosie, is I want to brown the meat off a little bit. And the trick is, if you don't want to use such a hot pan, is do it in smaller batches. That way you can keep the heat in the pan and everything browns off nicely.
I've never been to Peru, and if you do a bit more of that, I'm never going to make it there, am I?
Oh, come on. You love this, don't you? It smells good already, doesn't it? Now, what I'm going to do is turn that around there like that and keep that simmering away. If you can do the papa seca, that's great. Take it out of there and drain it all off. I've got the celery stick here, and I'm just going to cut this into nice, big cubes all the way down here. I'm cutting it nice and big because I want it to cook at about the same time as the pork. I've got the onion and garlic there as well. And I'm going to use another type of potato. I've got a lovely big Desiree here. I'm going to cut it all the way through here like that. And I'm going to keep it quite chunky through the middle there like that. And you can see, Rosie, I'm keeping the skin on, and I bet there's a whole lot of reasons why I would keep the skin on.
We like to keep that fibre, don't we? That's what we really want. You know, we want to make sure when we have our own fibre, that means we make our own probiotics. So that's always a really good thing, fibre. We
love those things. And in goes the celery and the onion and the garlic, and I'm just going to toss that over there. And what I'm going to do, Rosie, is pop it into this pan here, which is more of a braising pan. In it goes, lots of sizzle going on there like that. And what I'm going to do is just stir that round for a minute or so until the onion and the garlic starts to soften just a little bit. Rosie, you can see the pork is browned off beautifully. And I like using large chunks like this, you know, because
I've noticed.
When they cook nice and slowly, they become quite chunky, and you pick it up with a fork and you've got a couple of bites out of it. Now I'm going to add some cumin in there, about a teaspoon of cumin, stir that around, and my 2 red pepper paste. Now, if you don't have this paste and you can't get hold of it, you can find it in a lot of supermarkets or South American stores. You could just use some chili and some pureed up red peppers.
That really is. If you can find that, that is... tastes delicious.
It's great, but don't not make the dish because you can't find these two.
Never.
You know, just substitute it with a bit of pepper, but it's got a lovely flavour with it. It just comes together. And one of the tricks to get that flavour is using the red peppers and just a little bit of vinegar. That will help to bring out the flavour. So in goes a little bit of vinegar, there we go. And I'm also going to add some port and red wine because I know how that gives me some lovely flavour. There we go. In goes the white wine as well. And I've got some beautiful stock there, some beef bone broth, which is lovely and fresh. Comes from grass-fed beef. In it goes. And what I'm going to do is cover the pork. You could use pork stock if you want to, chicken stock. You could even use water, but nothing beats really good stock. Now, what I want to do is make sure that as it evaporates, that stock becomes a nice thick sauce. So in goes the potatoes. They're going to cook beautifully. In goes the papa seca as well.
Soak up that flavour as well, aren't they?
It'll soak everything up, and it becomes like a really, really thick sauce. I've even got some chocolate because South Americans do cook with dark chocolate. I'm going to put about 1/4 cup of that in there, and some of the peanuts as well. I'm going to grab half of those peanuts now. In they go. Now, all I need to do, Rosie, is stir that around, bring this up to the boil, and once it's simmering away, what I'm going to do is pop the lid on it, turn it down nice and low and slow, and about an hour and a half or so, it'll be nice and tender, reduced down nice and thick. Those potatoes, those peppers, those pork will all come together and make a beautiful little braise.
We'll go have a cuppa.
Rosie, off comes the lid. See the steam that comes out? Can you smell it? Can you smell a bit of that chocolate, can't you?
It looks rich. You can, yeah. Feel Easter here. You can see the richness in it as well. Hey, there's something about slow cooking that does get that flavour into the food. Hey.
And you can see with the papa seca, it also helps to soak up some of that liquid and thicken it up. I mean, this is what a pork stew should be like, nice and thick and hearty.
It's a very rich oatmeal, this one, isn't it?
Oh, this is gonna stick to the side of your lungs. This one, here we go. And what I'm going to do is just stir. I stirred a bit of coriander and some spring onion, just to give it a fresh flavour right at the end. So what I'm going to do is take some of this and pop it in a bowl. Now, you could, if you want to, serve this with rice. That would be a traditional Peruvian thing to do. But I think it's going to be rich enough as it is. All that potato in there, a little bit of the dripping on the side there.
Rich enough as it is.
There we go.
Would you like me to sprinkle some peanuts on there for
you can sprinkle some peanuts on there. Now, I know this isn't the vegan version of this dish.
That's okay. Look, I've got my
there we go.
rabbit food here. I'm fine.
What I'm going to do is grab a little piece of this pork, because the pork is a hero, of course, for me. A little bit of the papa seca on the side there. It tastes really good already. Just a little bit is enough to...
Well, look, I think you've got some really intriguing ingredients in there, and that's why I love cooking something from a different place, because you cook things that maybe you probably wouldn't use before. You go into a shop that maybe you don't know how to use the ingredients, and that's the art of cooking, really.
So a good idea to try new things, and I'll tell you what, this is a new thing for me. This is really nice. I like the way the potatoes thickened it up. It's got a great flavour to it. Those pepper pastes have given it a really nice flavour, and the peanuts and the herbs in there just to lift it up. And I'll tell you what, that pork is so sweet, juicy, moist and flavoursome and tender. It's making my mouth water.
If you're happy, I'm happy.